My name is Rob Lantine. I'm the Vice President University Affairs with the Brock University Students Union. As students, we are looking for a fair balance, just as everyone else here is today, between users' rights and creators' rights, because even though we're users today, we are the creators of tomorrow. What we strive for is a system that does not inhibit the transfer of knowledge, the pursuit of ideas, or the quest for information. The courts have interpreted a broad definition of fair dealing, which we do support, and we feel that the best method of including this in the next copyright bill would be to make the Section 29 rights explanatory, rather than exhaustive, by including the words such as. Our institutions, our universities are very risk adverse, and a complex series of exemptions would only lead to situations where our universities continue to restrict the flow of information for fear of being sued. The second point I want to make is with respect to digital learning. The traditional four-walled classroom is eroding very rapidly. I've had seminars which are online only, but professors deliver video podcasts, lecture slides, and course readings in digital format. I spent an entire semester working entirely with materials off my computer in BlackBerry without printing a single page as I was working out in the field. To treat these digital delivery methods as Bill C-61 did, forcing materials to be printed or destroyed within a very short time, ignores the utility of these materials for continuous learning and places a burden on administrators, librarians, and instructors. It also characterizes the student end users as kind of assumed criminals, who, if they could, would be selling podcasts out of their trench coat at the bus stop. That's really not the reality of this world today. Rather, we should be designing our copyright laws to be adding flexibility to information provision and expand, not contract, our ability to share and use information for research and learning. Lastly, I wanted to touch on digital locks. If the intended use of a material is for a non-infringement purpose, it should not be criminalized simply because DRM was inserted. If a student needs a large text format of a document, or a blind student needs a text-to-speech reader, this may require breaking a digital lock in order to convert formats. One of my best friends this year is taking Computer Science 403 at Brock, which is a cryptography course. How is a student supposed to learn about codes and algorithms if they're not allowed to legally break these things inside the classroom? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now we'll go to the web. Nicole?
So we have a comment from Leslie Allen. Any copyright act will be written in legislative language. Is there some way the government could commit to funding for copyright education in Canada when a new law is proposed and passed? This will help all who use, create, and distribute content. There's also a comment from Joel from Fredericton. Users of Linux operating systems are excluded from watching DVDs on their computers and are further prevented from legally breaking the inefficient encryption to use their legally purchased materials. The coming copyright law needs to ensure that all people are entitled to have full access to legally purchased materials and be allowed to break any digital locks if the distributors refuse to provide ways for content to work using our chosen format on our chosen device. And a final comment from Michael from Thunder Bay. The Canadian Freelance Union is a newly formed group of independent media workers. Our very existence depends on our ability to get paid for the works we produce. Any expansion of fair dealing will impact us negatively. I'll get this out. As independent creators, we also face an increasingly difficult business climate where our former partners, the publishers, broadcasters, and producers, are extracting more and more rights from us and paying less and less. We need reforms that will strengthen our ability to negotiate fair deals for our copyrights, make some economic rights non-transferable, and remove the right to waive moral rights. These are just some ways an amended Copyright Act could support those who actually create.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity, Mr. Minister and everyone here. My name is Dennis McGrath. I'm a professional television writer and producer. I've written episodes of The Border and Stargate Universe and my own show, Across the River to Motor City. I also blog about the Canadian industry to 10,000 readers per week. In addition to speaking myself today, I also serve on the Council of the Writers Guild of Canada, so I'm here speaking on behalf of 2,000 screenwriters from coast to coast. Now, as an artist, I want my work to be seen by as many people as possible. And once upon a time, that meant seeing it on TV or in the movie theater. Now, you know, it's iPods, it's DVRs, it's cell phones, it's computers, game consoles. I'm pretty sure they're going to have something on a toaster by Christmas. And that's, you know, that's the way it's going to go. We can't be King Canute trying to hold back the sea, and we have to recognize that things have changed fundamentally. Consumer behavior has changed, technology has changed the way people use things. Suing our consumers is not going to be the answer. What we feel is the answer is we just want to, as artists, we don't have any problems with the consumer behavior. We just want to get paid. And we think that that's the important thing for the copyright holders. When sound recording became common use, a levy for blank cassettes, and blank media was introduced, and it's worked so well, and the precedent has worked so well that we had a guy here today who doesn't realize he's been paying it. So, this is collective licensing. And this is, we think, a forward-thinking, less American version, maybe made-in-Canada solution that lines up with other places around the world that might actually offer a decent way to protect both copyright and to not criminalize or, annoy our consumers with digital locks and all these other things that, that get in the way. More importantly, when you're writing a law, it also allows you to write a law that doesn't lock you into technology, that can be flexible, because what you're talking about is the aims. You're not locking it to technology. So 10 years from now, we'll be talking about, things that don't, technologies that don't exist anymore. The point is that I'm a freelancer and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a speculator. My income this year is going to be half what it was last year. We're the ones that are taking the risks. And, all we want to do is to get fair compensation for what we put out there. In terms of things like fair dealing, too, this is a personal thing I really want to speak on. I think there's a lot of aspects of fair dealing. It seems good, but, the main thing about fair dealing is that I think we should entrench some aspect of parody and satire and allowing that to be part of our regime. Thanks for the opportunity, and please, technology neutral. Thanks.
Thank you.
My name is Sharon Ramsahai, and I work in Canada's music industry, specifically Sony Music. But not only am I speaking to this issue from that point of view, I'm speaking on behalf of friends and family that are creators and producers of musical compositions. They are finding the situation in Canada very discouraging, to a point where it's either they give up their passion or, if able, leave the country to try to succeed. If that is the general consensus, Canada will be forfeiting some very talented people, and should success be found elsewhere, they will not be claiming that success as Canadians. I believe that users should be able to legally purchase and consume material on a platform of choice in a way that ensures that royalties flow through to the creators and owners of such material. This is the time for Canada to not only play catch-up regarding copyright legislation, but to show itself as a leading country by setting a precedent that other countries look to, which promotes a thriving culture. Thank you.
Thank you.